Hi there, fellow programmers. Welcome into another episode of Web Development Made Easy. I'm your host Evans, and today we are going to dive into the captivating world of front-end development. Get ready to unleash your creativity and supercharge your web development. Every website can be split into two parts. We have the front end and we have the back end. The front end is the visual part of the website, and the back end is the invisible part of the website, where we store our data, we store our emails, we store our addresses, we store our videos, and we store everything that we need to store. Our front end is basically the front part of the website, whether you see the buttons, where you see the images, where you view the videos, where you view the text. All that is the front end. Also, the front end, we can define the front end as the interactive part of the website. A front end, for example, let's look at the Amazon website. Amazon website, as we can see images, we can see some preview, we can interact with some buttons. All that is the front end. The front end is basically comprised of HTML, CSS. What do we need to build a good front end? We have several technologies that are built for building front end. For example, we have HTML5, we have CSS, we have JavaScript, we have TypeScript, we have other frameworks like React, we have Next, we have Angular, and we also have Vue.js. Let's look at another example of a front-end part of a website. For example, we have this PLP website here, where we can see images, we can view text, we can see images with different colors, we can see a logo, we can see different background colors. How actually do you come up with this kind of website? We build the front-end part, and to build the front-end part, we need to know some technologies. We need to know the HTML that we have looked at previously. We need to know some CSS just for styling and making everything beautiful, and we also need some JavaScript to make our website interactive. What is the purpose of using these three main technologies that we have defined, that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? We can take HTML as a skeleton of building the web, for adding raw text, for adding raw images, for adding everything that we need. The CSS is basically for styling, making everything beautiful. Now, JavaScript, we add interactivity to that particular website or that particular page we are trying to build. What are examples of some of the interactions that we can build with JavaScript? We can build the click of a button. For example, when you click a button, when we click the opinion pieces button, it will be able to filter content and then return content with that particular kind of piece of text. That is an interactivity that you have added with JavaScript. You cannot achieve that interactivity with HTML and CSS itself. You need to add JavaScript to do all those kind of activities. That's a very good example of what JavaScript does. But again, we have several things that we can't achieve with only these three technologies. Let's take this example. You are building a large website. We need to write several files. With this kind of procedure of writing so many files can be tedious, and our website can be lagging at some point. So how do you overcome this kind of problem? There is something called bundlers. This bundlers helps us combine all that JavaScript files, then bundle them into one JavaScript file. But again, this is a tedious task. We have frameworks that help us do all these tasks. We can look at the example of some frameworks here. We have several frameworks that we can learn or we can use. We have React.js, we have Next.js, that is a framework for JavaScript. Then we have Angular.js, we have Vue.js, and we also have Svelte. What does this kind of frameworks do? They help us write less code, and they also help us ship our JavaScript very easily. This means they will compact that JavaScript, ship it in a smaller bundle as compared to the previous one that you ship a lot of files. That means your website at some point may lag or may delay, and that is a problem. That's why these kind of frameworks were built to overcome that problem. This kind of frameworks helps us write files as a component or components. These components, for example, you can take a component of the header or the navigation bar, create that component, then import it across all other pages that you'll use. That means if you write a component, we only write one header component or one navigation component, then we reuse it across all our platform. That means we only write one, then avoid duplicating that particular header or that particular navigation bar to all other pages, and that's an advantage of using this kind of framework. With this kind of JavaScript frameworks build, that has helped us write less code and ship less code to the browser. We also have some CSS frameworks. This kind of CSS frameworks, they help us also write less code, ship our code easily, and create everything in a simpler way. For example, we have the Bootstrap, that is the mainly used framework, and we have the Tailwind CSS. One extra thing that we can look at is how does the frontend communicate with the database? It communicates in several ways. And to send any information to the backend and again to the frontend, we use XML HTTPS requests, we use Axios, and we use Fetch. These are the main three ways of communication between the frontend and the backend. In our next episode, we are going to use React as our main framework and differentiate between React and other kind of frameworks, and how React updates its components, all that we are going to learn in our next episode. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.